August 480 BC. The air at Thermopylae was thick, the sun merciless. The heat shimmered over the rocky ground, and every breath tasted of dust and anticipation. The narrow pass, sea on one side, cliffs on the other, became the entire world for a small Greek force. Here, geography was both shield and trap, a place where fate would be decided. At their heart, 300 Spartans, led by King Leonidas. They stood as the backbone of a coalition of Greeks, united by purpose if not by city. These were men forged by brutal training, preparing for a battle they knew they might not survive. Their discipline was legendary, their courage tested by years of hardship. Leonidas, a seasoned king, moved among his men, calm and resolute. His presence was a steady anchor in the growing storm of fear and uncertainty. He knew the Persian army, led by Xerxes, was vast, unstoppable by numbers alone. Tens of thousands marched against them, a force that seemed to blot out hope itself. Yet his presence inspired hope. Their stand here was about more than survival. It was about meaning. Each man understood that their sacrifice could echo through history. Soldiers mended gear, shared stories, and watched the horizon for the enemy. The night before battle was filled with quiet rituals and whispered prayers. Every rumor, every dust cloud set nerves on edge. The tension was a living thing, pressing in from all sides. The prophecy was clear. A Spartan king must die, or Sparta would fall. The words of the oracle hung over them, heavy as the midday heat. Leonidas chose to lead, embracing destiny. He accepted the burden, knowing his choice would shape the fate of Greece. Their mission, buy time, bleed the Persians, and show Greece the price of freedom. They would hold the pass, whatever the cost. As they combed their hair, a Spartan ritual before battle, they prepared not just for a fight, but for a legacy. Each gesture was a promise to stand firm. In this sweltering pass, they waited, ready to defy the impossible. The world held its breath as the storm gathered on the horizon. Xerxes' invasion was more than revenge. It was a bid to crush Greek independence. The Persian Empire threatened everything the Greeks valued: freedom, citizenship, self-rule. Divided and outnumbered, the Greeks relied on strategy, not strength. Their plan: block the Persian navy at Artemisium and hold the land army at Thermopylae. If the pass fell, Greece would be lost. Leonidas and his men weren't just defending land, they were the shield for all of Greece. Their stand was a desperate gamble meant to delay the Persians and save Athens. This was a battle for the soul of a civilization. Thermopylae, the Hot Gates, was a natural fortress. The pass was so narrow only a few men could fight abreast. On one side, the sea; on the other, sheer cliffs. The terrain neutralized the Persian advantage in numbers and cavalry. Leonidas rebuilt a crumbling wall at the narrowest point, creating a fortified line. Behind it, Greek spears formed a deadly hedge. The Persians could only attack in waves, funneled into the killing ground. The Greeks rotated fresh troops to the front, while Persians arrived exhausted. Here the land itself fought for the defenders. Thermopylae was more than a backdrop. It was the Greeks' greatest ally. The Greek hoplite was a walking fortress. His aspi shield and bronze armor made him nearly invulnerable in close combat. The dory spear, over 2 meters long, kept enemies at bay. The iconic Corinthian helmet protected but limited senses, demanding trust in comrades. Against lightly armed Persians, the hoplite's equipment was decisive. Persian weapons and armor were no match for Greek bronze and discipline. At Thermopylae, the hoplites' panoply turned the narrow pass into a killing ground. The Phalanx was the ultimate expression of Greek discipline and unity. Shields overlapped, forming a wall of bronze and wood. Each man protected his neighbour, forging a bond of trust. Spartans, trained from childhood, moved as one, unyielding and precise. The narrow pass forced the Persians to attack head-on, nullifying their numbers. The orthismos, the shove, drove the enemy back, breaking their lines. When one man fell, another stepped forward, the wall unbroken. The Phalanx was a machine of war, perfectly suited to Thermopylae's confines. Spartan resolve anchored the line, inspiring all Greeks to hold firm. Here, discipline was the difference between survival and annihilation. The Spartans fought with brains as well as brawn. Leonidas used feigned retreats, luring Persians into chaos before counterattacking. Only the most disciplined troops could pull off such deception. The psychological warfare was relentless. Spartans calmly combed their hair before battle, projecting fearlessness. Their war hymns echoed through the pass, unnerving the enemy. Every move was calculated to break Persian morale. At Thermopylae, mind games were as deadly as spears. Heroism at Thermopylae was built on endurance as much as combat. The legendary stand was not just a matter of bravery in battle, but of surviving the relentless hardships of each day. Soldiers survived on meagre rations and guarded every drop of water, rationing supplies with discipline. Hunger gnawed at them, and thirst was a constant threat in the summer heat. They slept on bare ground, exposed to the elements, nerves frayed by constant tension. Nights brought little rest, as the fear of attack lingered in every shadow. Armor and weapons needed constant care. Rust or a broken strap could mean death. Every piece of equipment was precious, and neglect could be fatal. After each clash, men repaired gear and scavenged from the fallen, searching for anything that could be reused or salvaged for survival. The weight of bronze, the heat and exhaustion tested every man. Fatigue set in quickly, and every step became a struggle. Leonidas rotated his troops, keeping the front line fresh and giving weary men a brief chance to recover. The wounded were tended behind the lines as best as possible. Makeshift care and camaraderie kept hope alive. This system of rest and repair was vital to holding out for 3 days, allowing the Greeks to endure against overwhelming odds. Survival was a battle fought every hour, not just against Persians, but against the land itself. Every moment demanded resilience, determination, and unity. For 2 days, the Greeks held the narrow pass, repelling every Persian assault with unwavering determination and discipline. Their phalanx formation stood strong, a wall of shields and spears that seemed impenetrable. But betrayal came. A local named Ephialtes revealed a secret mountain path to Xerxes, changing the course of the battle and sealing the Greeks' fate. Persian troops swiftly outflanked the Greeks, encircling their position and leaving them with no escape. Realizing the dire situation, Leonidas dismissed most of the allied army, keeping only his Spartans, Thespians, and a handful of loyal others to make a final stand. This was no mere suicide, it was a calculated rearguard action, a heroic sacrifice meant to buy precious time for the rest of Greece to prepare for the Persian advance. The final battle was brutal and desperate. Spears shattered, swords broke, and when weapons failed, men fought with their bare hands, refusing to yield. Leonidas fell in the chaos, and the last defenders gathered atop a small hill, determined to resist until the very end. Surrounded on all sides, they fought to the last breath, refusing to surrender or abandon their honor. Their sacrifice echoed through history, inspiring countless generations with their courage and resolve. The Persians won the pass, but they could not conquer the indomitable spirit of Greece or erase the memory of the defenders' bravery. The cost of this stand was written in blood, a heavy price paid for freedom and hope. Thermopylae became a timeless symbol of defiance, resistance, and the will to fight against overwhelming odds. The world would forever remember their stand, and the legend of Thermopylae would live on through the ages. Thermopylae's lessons endure. Terrain can turn weakness into strength. Know your ground. The right tools used with skill are everything. Train relentlessly. Discipline and teamwork transform individuals into an unbreakable unit. Mindset matters most. Resolve and purpose can defy impossible odds. In crisis, preparation, unity, and courage are your greatest weapons. The Spartan stand was not just about war, but about the will to resist. Their legacy, the power of courage, strategy, and spirit in the face of overwhelming force.